Okay, so let's just watch his path, or the path through the tournaments into the match that we have then streamed. Seems like he's gonna be there for quite a bit deep, so therefore it's gonna be quite a few games, but that's gonna be there for then for today, but yeah, we'll see how long actually all the games in the end were. Okay then, so we're gonna be starting with the first round, and that's gonna be there for the Abassids from Flame, aka Marineford, and Lix is gonna be playing with the British and the English on the other side. So let's reveal the map and have a look on maybe some further resources. As you can see, he's gonna be having actually a rather nice and cool base. He's gonna be having stone, market, and gold all the way to the backside with even the hunt, and even the berries are kinda slightly backish. Seems like a pretty decent spawn, but a bit of a problem could be that he doesn't have any forest nearby actually, and therefore it's gonna be still a bit tricky to protect it in any kind of way, and he might be actually needing some towers for that early. Well, Lix, of course, expert Age of Empires 2 player. He's gonna be trying his best at this point against Flame, and let's see what he's gonna be able to enact with the British. As you can see, he's going right about now for the wood as well in there. Not going for the gold either. I mean, like, the gold doesn't seem exactly too terrible. And again, a bit of a protective wood line in front of it, which therefore means you're usually gonna be getting at least a bit of an extra, maybe time to run away, in case you're gonna be, of course, having something to notice the opponent coming through that direction, somehow and somewhat. That could be a thing, as you see, I can go in for the first, of course, the villager, or the making for the wood line, sorry, for the gold, and instead of just going for a bit of a different build, kind of similar from what we have seen, for example, from Bronze Boy in the previous game. I'm kind of hoping I'm gonna be even able to finish in some respectable manner the games that I want today. We are already live for a long time, and kind of looking forward to finally at least some appropriate dinner than just some kind of cookies that I was trying to keep myself, well, some strength up, at least for the time being. But you can see the House of Wisdom needs to be, of course, done quite a bit early, so that you can also potentially advance somewhere about those 4:30, as is going to be probably expected from him. So Lumbercamp coming up for sure. You can see still gathering gold with about 3 villages currently, and it's gonna be his build. You can see the resources getting almost there. Gold is gonna be fine. Food is gonna be almost as well, as he's having currently 8 villages on that. Whereas on the other side of the map, we are gonna be at a bit of a later advance, it looks like. Though the gold is gonna be almost there with 3 villages, then the food is gonna be still a bit lacking and taking a bit longer time, as apparently there's gonna be a bit of extra hunt all the way to the right flank available for Lix, which is quite a bit far away. And look at that, it's basically a screen away, so that's not really the simplest of situations for him at all. It definitely and really isn't. No, he's gonna be having at least stone at the back. You can see even the market, in case you wanted to somewhat and somehow use it, which could be useful for some kind of later game, possibly. For that, it always would be a bit of a helpful little thing and part. But we need to be, of course, just keeping an eye on how quickly he's gonna be able to advance, as currently he's already going through. But he's gonna be at about 1500, so looks like it's going to be about 5-minute advance, maybe. Doesn't seem like it's gonna be the quickest one. A bit of a question is if maybe he's not gonna be trying to go for second TC, but for that, obviously, he would have to be already gathering the stone, which he so far isn't. That is so far not what he'll be interested in, quite obviously, as you can tell. And then, oh, seems like it's so far. We need to be pretty much waiting for the feudal age, so that the players show us what to expect. Maybe it could be expecting from Marineford, as we actually have seen before. So therefore some early barracks, maybe early stables as well with some horses. But it really depends against the Brits. Maybe the combination of archers together with the horses might be interesting, because he's probably gonna be expecting some spears and maybe on top of it, no, definitely archers. The other unit is a bit open, could be of course the spears, or maybe it could be horses as well. So maybe just a clash of the same armies could be happening between Lix and Flame here. Interesting to be seeing something completely different. having the Abassids right now as the choice instead of the plenty of the Mongols, French and the English, which are apparently the easiest for people to understand. And maybe actually slightly surprised that we haven't seen any Rus, because they don't feel entirely too terrible. Thinking they are very interesting for, especially in the land maps, because you don't have to be getting any gold, you're gonna be getting it from the bounties. So kind of feeling that it's a bit interesting really. There wasn't a kind of choice of them yet, at least so far as we have seen between the players. So blacksmith immediately. Okay. Wow. That is a very interesting and very early investment. Not sure it's actually gonna be good. And Schalke, Northflame is an Age of Mythology player. That is the AOM player with us here. Alex is Age of Empires 2. So we'll see how far they are gonna be taking it here currently. Let's see about that. So it's gonna be the horses with the archers. So kind of like the classic combination that we slightly expected. You can see of course no extra upgrades so far besides. It's already gone, but that was something for the villager food, right? Don't exactly recall what it exactly is. Let's have a look into Tech 3. Show me the Abassidos. House of Wisdom. Fresh foodstuffs. Reduce the cost to produce villages by 50%, so effectively he's going for eco. And he's gonna be therefore saving a lot of resources on that. Obviously the sooner he's gonna be able to get it with even stable number 2. So he's going for that seriously. As from the other side, expectedly plenty of archers coming forward, and apparently he is going to be going for the hunt as well, which I definitely do endorse. You can see no extra upgrades and nothing too much serious. And I kind of don't understand how he was actually, and why he was building the blacksmith so quickly. Was he kind of like going for that because he's used to it from Age of Empires 2, where you are getting blacksmith for the archers soon so that you can get fletch in? I'm kind of guessing that might be a similar idea, but here it doesn't give you extra range. It gives you extra attack, which is still kind of nice. But frankly, the range is the more important part, in my opinion, in Age of Empires 2 of the archer upgrades. So yeah, I'm thinking that Lix is gonna be a bit disappointed. And seems like that he maybe just gonna sign up without too much of experience in Age of Empires 4, therefore. So maybe he's just gonna be trying to play of his kind of like individual RTS skill, rather than on the other side, Flame, he is playing quite a bit, and therefore he is gonna be having his build order and overall strategy and tactics probably quite well in order. Gonna be at the last second able to escape with that prized goat, or goat, ram, which is way too used to, for example, Age of Mythology, having different animals all across. So just kind of like confusing sometimes. It's having horns, so it's going to be a goat. Because obviously just a bit of a difference, sheep and rams. There's also another very curious kind of thing that you are having instead of sheep. You're just having a random chance, the change into rams. I mean, like, is there some kind of reason for that? I don't think that the rams were actually grown for meat, right? Because usually you don't want to be having too many rams in your herd. You want to be having just normal sheep. Because of course the rams then can like want to be territorial, but wanting to have their own herd. And that, maybe that's like the reason. And therefore they just can like always grew them and kill them before they were, I don't know, too old to be actually starting to try to have their own territory. Maybe that's gonna be some kind of logic behind that. Maybe there's a historical explanation why they decided to be switching from the sheep. Because the sheep are kind of nice because they give you the wool, so you don't usually want to slaughter them too much. Oh yeah, well, whatever, I have no idea. Just some kind of random train of thoughts here about that as we are waiting for the engagement. It seems to be actually working pretty well, because that was an excellent trap, because he was hidden in there and Lix couldn't see that. Unfortunately, gonna be right about now going back in time just to be showing that line of sight. So maybe next time this is gonna be happening again. I'm hopefully gonna be remembering to actually showcase why that basically ambush happened, and it was excellently played by Flame, which Lix absolutely did not expect, obviously. And currently looking at the vidis, you can see that Lix is gonna be 32, military only 7, And when we switch into flame, he's gonna be at 30 wills, but 30 military, so currently he is in a decent shape. Just needs to be getting a bit more archers going so that he can get rid of those pesky Spiros. He certainly needs to be doing that currently. Okay, some upgrades somewhere, maybe on the economy. Not on the wood, on the food, nope. No upgrades. Do we have actually some blacksmith? Doesn't seem so. We have actually double stable already for him. That's a bit curious. Whereas here, 4 lakes. Jesus Christ, we have an apparently attack for the archers. Yeah, so that's kind of like what I expected, that it's gonna be Age of Empires 2 actually motivation to be going for the early barracks, or the blacksmith, sorry. So apparently barracks are down, and that's gonna be resulting into few Spiros. They are already hardened, so you can see he does have that upgraded at least. And going for the second archer range, as he wants to be spamming a bit more reliably. You can see he needs to be probably getting some new lumber camp here to the top. And the wall in, no, that's not a terrible idea. That can be actually somewhat working, as we do have another engagement on the other side of the base with a decent amount of horses, like seriously decent. And I'm kind of thinking that maybe he could be taking like 3-4 kind of better health units and go for some raiding. Just have a look maybe here onto the berries, maybe onto the gold here to the left side. Kinds of little things like that are what he could be going for and doing. Ah, well, just gonna be again hiding. Let's maybe switch actually into lakes when he's gonna be coming maybe nearby. Because obviously he's not gonna be seen here, but right now, no idea, but if there's gonna be another ambush coming down, that might be nice to actually demonstrate the differences if you are gonna be hidden in the forest or not. Because at this point, from this point of view, if you're gonna be switching into blue, he's also not gonna be seen outright. Yeah, he basically just gonna be hidden in the forest, but that's why he's gonna be having also a few units outside to potentially scout for him. And yeah, as you can see, he cannot see out, the enemy also cannot be seen in, and that's how that first ambush actually happened. So you can see he's using the map rather well, currently flame. And we're gonna be even arriving on the gold here to the left. There's only like 1 BD, so not like it's gonna be too much of a serious disruption. But I guess gonna be not even wanting to bother with saving the villager anymore, and therefore that's gonna be also meaning kind of giving up on upgrades, because they usually do cost a decent amount of gold. So therefore that's gonna be only that one, and that's it. So for example, no even siege engineering is coming forward, whereas for the opponent he is gonna be having finally the blacksmith, and he does have the siege engineering. So is also having currently a second archer range. And apparently the food, or the first upgrade on the wood, is gonna be at in wheelbarrow. Wheelbarrow coming up. For the opponent he's getting something. Yeah, he's having horticulture, or the horticulture, sorry. That is the first one for the food gathering. On the wood he doesn't have the double bit products, and on the gold also nothing. So yeah, he's just basically waiting here for, I'm kind of thinking Flame's economy to be kind of like a bit more kicking off maybe. Or possibly finally getting at least some siege weapons, because it's a bit interesting, he's already upgraded the siege weapons, but he's not entirely making any new ones, not even under cover of the forest. It's kind of nice how they're actually whispering. It's kind of cool detail. Cool detail indeed, but much more importantly, this is gonna be much cooler detail as far as getting the RAM. It's gonna be seriously more important and more legit, and it's gonna be time yet again to check on the wills. 41 currently for Flame, and for the opponent he's gonna be also at 41, so effectively same-ish economies, as you do have some raiding going on by Lix, who is gonna be finding his opponent right on his wood line. You can see he's making actually quite nice new lumber camps, moving forward with the efficiency, liking that. No, but it's gonna be time to maybe visit the other wood line, because currently that's gonna be a bit of a struggle for him. Kinda interesting how he's actually keeping the pikemen purposefully behind, so that maybe if there's gonna be some surprise charge by the horses, he can be luring him in, and maybe just kinda like encircling him. Ah, well, there we go. Yeah, that's gonna be actually decently done. Still did receive at least a few hits, but nonetheless it was definitely quite well helped in the end by the extra archer shooting. But much more importantly, we're gonna be having some Kilma archers ready, And I don't think he needs to be coming back with the ram. Maybe he could have been kept it hidden next to the enemy base. Because I don't think it's gonna be really serving too much of a purpose here. Even against the archers, he's having plenty of units overall. And he should be probably having quite a decent time of the attack here. Because at this point just needs to be... Well, maybe like maybe split the horses. Maybe like half of it would be trying to circle into archers, the second would be standing still. Kind of like sacrificing themselves, so that the archers can destroy the pikemen. Maybe it would have been faster way about it, but nonetheless in the end you can see it's gonna be quite a good result as well. And that is a serious problem for Lix, because that's effectively most of the army gone. And you can right now expect to be having a quite clear and close visit with the battalion rams very soon. So yeah, usually these kinds of high losses, reminds me of the Raifeng's game, are then reverberating even later in the game. Because we have seen that the economies are fairly similar between them. Oh, pretty much the same. And therefore, well, if you're gonna be suddenly losing half of your army, not anything great waiting for you. 19 military against 48. You can guess there's a bit of a problem right now brewing for the Chinese. For the Chinese player Lix. Did he get maybe something there for I'm just impatient for all the upgrades? If maybe you're gonna be there for seeing some differences growing between them, but so far it really seems like not. We have at least a few archerinos without upgrades. Besides the attack, that's the only one he got so far. But we already do have apparently both defensive upgrades for Marineford, as he's right now just getting the armor against the melee units. And the camel archers so far they are not entirely helpful. We don't have too many horses on the other side. But later you can be also getting basically a morale boost from them if you're gonna be getting certain upgrades, and that can be of course helping your own units as well in the fight to be fighting a bit more reliably. Kinda still thinking he should be using a few of the archers to build another ram, thinking that one is kinda like too few. He should be trying to get at least one extra for all of it. No, but the situation is getting really at this point bad for Lix, because you can see he's getting broken through quite a bit deeply. And with the ram, demolition currently at least the archer range to kind of like limit the amount of archers coming up against him. Yeah, it seems to me that even though he's trying to do what he can with a bit of a hit and run in, he is kind of like gonna be losing the units anyway. And the ram will be having just a bit of a visit soon into, I'm thinking, the council hall. That should be probably the next target, even before the DC in my opinion. Yeah, because it's both a landmark first, but much more importantly, it's actually producing, of course, the archers. And it can be even maybe serving as a bit of a force target for both the archerinos and possibly even the town center. As yet again, he's not having loom. Okay. Is he really not having that? Yeah, I think he's not. Yeah, he's not having loom, so of course that's why the villagers also were dying a bit earlier. And it's something that feels like, and we have seen already multiple times, so it actually seems like something that players are not necessarily feeling like they need to do it. Because for example, for Age of Empires 2 players, they usually make it just before advancing into feudal, and therefore here, where you can still keep producing villages, it seems like that maybe they are not entirely like putting importance into it, and much more also importantly, and from the other side, it's also very expensive on gold. On the gold, 100 gold is a lot, and we have talked about it a lot in the previous games. So I'm thinking it's gonna be also another reason why they don't want to be necessarily engaging with that. Even though currently he's having 700 gold, in the early stages of the game it's not much of a case. And looking at all the rams coming forward, basically no army anywhere and villages getting also raided all across. No, looks like that this is actually the way how Flame is gonna be getting into the second round over an expert Age of Empires 2 player. So good job. Good job, and more practice on Age of Empires 4 is apparently right now paying off for him. So nicely done. Okay, so you're gonna be kicked out. Correcting right about now the score for Flame. Getting there for the 1-0 victory. To have it all filled. Probably should be put in between the games here if I'm gonna be putting it on YouTube, which I'm hopefully will be able to do somehow. Yeah, the blind there. So that I don't spoil the extra matches, right? Well, next time I guess. Because here on the stream it doesn't matter too much. But for the YouTube maybe it could. You can see another village is fairly similar until... Yeah, the power of course came for licks. Quite significant power. No, yet again, of course, quite nice unit skilled, but way more losses for licks, and therefore that's the result. Well played, kinda nice combination for the Abassid. Seems like that going for the early villager discount is kinda nice because it's gonna be allowing you to spam the units really well. 50% discount onto wills. That is a seriously good upgrade if you can manage to get that, so seems like a solid build. Can say it now 2, 3.5, so 3. About like 3000 resources more for MARINEFORD for Flame. Well, quite nice bonus to his stress. Can see same upgrade in the end. Was looking like that maybe actual Vix could be advancing later, but in the end he managed to do it rather nicely. But he was also built in with plenty of villages, which obviously isn't as effective because usually gonna be making with 3 from what you have seen and reaching the same time, so you can be working a bit more reliably with the wills. And that also costs you some resources on the advance therefore. But okay, GG.